Hello and welcome to This Really Happened, a place where unbelievable, heart-touching true stories come to life. Sometimes surprising, sometimes bittersweet, always real. Grab a drink and settle in. We're about to begin. Sophia walked, and tears streamed down, blurring her eyes. She saw nothing in front of her. One thought pounded in her head. Why? Why had her life turned out this way? She was fortunate to grow up in a wealthy family. She was the only daughter. Her father adored her, fulfilling her every whim. But despite this, Sophia grew up well-mannered and unspoiled. She loved her parents and was a brilliant student. She finished school with a gold medal and university with honours. She was keen on sports, winning awards and medals. And all these achievements, the gold medal, the honours degree, the sports awards, were solely her merit, earned through hard work and sweat. Her father took her into his company and began to involve her in the family business. And here Sophia impressed him with her quick wit and business acumen. But one day, misfortune knocked on the door. Her father died under mysterious circumstances. He was hunting with friends, and a tree fell on him. It fell fatally, right on his head. He died instantly. Sophia had always been a daddy's girl, and her father's death was a crushing blow to her. However, incredible inner strength and resilience helped her cope with this grief. Sophia didn't just return to work, she took the helm of his company. Her relationship with her mother had been difficult since her youth. Her mother often felt jealous of her daughter because of her husband's attention, seeing her not as a child, but merely a rival. But Sophia still loved her mother, even though she didn't always find understanding. Barely recovering from one tragedy, Sophia faced a new one. Her mother was hospitalized with a massive heart attack, and a week after being in the clinic, she passed away. And again, tears, a funeral, farewell. All these events crashed down on Sophia within less than a year. Left completely alone, Sophia threw herself into work. She noticed nothing around her. The bitter circumstances forced her to grow up prematurely and feel responsible for the hundreds of people working under her leadership. As it happened, Sophia didn't have any truly close friends. She didn't have time for carefree parties. She was constantly studying and doing sports. There were classmates, fellow students, but only acquaintances and buddies. There was no one to share her innermost thoughts with, no one to ask for advice. Her only and most loyal friend had always been her father. But he had been gone for 3 years now, and Sophia found it hard to accept this loss. And that's when he appeared in her life. Their meeting was accidental. Their paths crossed at a city event dedicated to City Day. Sophia was present there as an honoured guest and sponsor, and Andrew turned out to be the son of a well-known deputy. Andrew immediately caught her eye. He was strikingly handsome and possessed incredible charm. They started spending time together. After 3 months, Andrew proposed, and she happily accepted. They got married, and Andrew moved into her mansion. But the family idyll was short-lived. Just a couple of months after the wedding, Andrew started disappearing frequently, returning in the early morning. He didn't work and, apparently, had no intention of making an effort. He was quite content with his position as the husband of a wealthy wife. Troubling rumours reached her about his infidelity and that the marriage was one of convenience. But she pushed these thoughts away. She believed him and trusted him. However, his idle existence was distasteful to her. She repeatedly suggested he get involved in business, open his own company, but he always found excuses. Almost a year passed like this until one day an anonymous well-wisher called her and informed her that her husband was spending time out of town at a roadside hotel in the company of another woman. Tired of the dirty rumours, Sophia decided to verify her faith in her husband and went to the address provided. The caller had even given the room number. Driving up to the hotel, she stopped, wondering, was she doing the right thing? I have to check this. If he's not there, he'll never know about my doubts. But if he is, then I don't need such a husband. Gathering her courage, she entered the hotel and went up to the second floor. Stopping outside the correct room, she listened. Female laughter came from behind the door. She knocked. A young woman opened the door. "Who are you looking for?" she asked, surprised. "Excuse me, may I come in?" Sophia asked, already losing her confidence. "Why should you? We're relaxing here and not expecting anyone," the girl replied sharply. She turned back into the room. "Darling, come here, please." Andrew came out of the room. He was wearing only a towel wrapped around his hips. Sophia looked at her husband. She refused to believe her eyes. "What did you want?" Sophia squeezed out through the tears welling up. "Did you marry me just for the money?" "Sophia, dear, it's not what you think at all," Andrew began. "Well, you couldn't come up with a more ridiculous excuse," Sophia exclaimed, stunned by his audacity. "Enjoy your stay. I'll send your things to your address." She rushed out of the hotel as if fleeing a chase. She wanted to disappear, to hide from all her problems in a dense forest, but there was no forest nearby. Only some grove or park was visible in the distance, and Sophia ran there. She didn't remember how she ended up near the railway tracks. She looked around, trying to figure out where she was. Her mind seemed to be clouded by fog. Sophia walked, and tears flowed again, blurring her eyes. She saw nothing in front of her. One thought pounded in her head. Why? Why had her life turned out this way? Suddenly, she stopped. Her head spun, and she felt completely unwell. She managed to think that she hadn't eaten anything since morning, and she collapsed, losing consciousness. Suddenly, someone grabbed her and dragged her away. She woke up in a cramped little room. A young man sat beside her, looking like a vagrant. Sophia was scared. What if he had dragged her here with bad intentions? But the guy didn't look threatening. On the contrary, noticing that she had woken up, he spoke. "How are you feeling? Did you fall onto the tracks on purpose, or did it just happen? You were very lucky I was nearby, otherwise the electric train would have run over you. I barely managed to pull you aside." He said something else, asked questions, but Sophia had difficulty understanding what was happening. Coming completely to herself, she looked at her saviour again and asked, "Where am I? What's your name?" "My name is Maxime. You're in my shelter." Maxime looked at Sophia, wanted to ask what had brought her here, but changed his mind. Who knows what kind of sorrow a person has, he thought. Maybe I shouldn't stir up old wounds. But Sophia herself started talking about how she ended up here, about her ungrateful, traitorous husband, and how she had run wherever her eyes led her. "Maxime, I'm so grateful to you. You saved my life. My husband is definitely not worth ending my life on the tracks for." "And why do you live here? You're very young. Where is your family?" Maxime lowered his eyes. He felt awkward, but honesty should be repaid with honesty, and he decided to tell his sad story. "I had a family. My parents were wealthy people. They died in a car crash, and I was left alone. More precisely, I had a brother, because of whom I ended up on the street. My father left the business to me in his will. My brother couldn't accept this. He set me up, very badly. I had no choice but to hide. He promised to help with money. But as you can see, I'm here, and there's no money. I'm not from around here. I have nowhere to go in this city. I wanted to get a job, but I don't have documents. And recently, I found out that my brother reported me missing. Can you imagine? I'd like to go back and prove I'm alive, but those I supposedly owe are really waiting for that. And I don't know what to do. They won't even hire me as a loader. So, Sophia, your story isn't the worst. Your husband betrayed you, and my own brother betrayed me. Sophia looked at Maxime with deep sympathy. She felt sorry for this kind young man, and she decided to help him. Maxime, let's do this. We'll go to my place now. You can take a shower, then we'll go to a salon and get your hair done, and then I'll get you some clothes. She saw that Maxime was about to object and raised her hand. Don't even try to argue, it's useless. You are my saviour. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. So, no objections accepted. I know how to be grateful and I remember kindness. So, let's go. We need to find my car. They got out of Maxime's shelter and headed towards the hotel. The car was in the same place. Andrew was standing next to it. Sophia was surprised. I'm just curious, what are you hoping for? That I'll pretend nothing happened? Don't even dream of it. Pick up your things today and get out of my house. Andrew wanted to say something, but then he looked at Maxime and burst out laughing. What a curious specimen you've found for yourself instead of me. What, couldn't find any normal men? You've sunk to vagrants? Sophia knew how to take a hit and respond. You wouldn't believe it, but this, as you call him, vagrant is more decent and smarter than you. You're not fit to tie his shoelaces. I regret marrying you. It was my biggest mistake, but it's okay. I'll fix it. They got into the car and drove away. While Maxime was showering, Sophia called a hairdresser to the house and ordered men's clothing from a store. Everything was delivered quickly. When Maxime, shaved and refreshed, came out in her ex-husband's bathrobe, Sophia was amazed. He turned out to be very attractive, even captivating. And after the haircut, he looked even younger. Well, that's much better. Now let's go somewhere and celebrate my second birthday and your return to a normal life, Sophia suggested. Maxime didn't object. He was very hungry, and they went to a restaurant. The clothes Sophia had chosen fit perfectly. He was even surprised. How did you manage to pick the size so accurately? I can't always do it myself without trying things on. Sophia smiled. I often buy clothes online. I bought them for my father and for my husband. I have a good eye. I'm glad you like them. And the style? Do you wear things like this? I chose according to my taste. Everything is great. You got it right here too. Maxime, I have a suggestion. We're almost the same age. Let's switch to using you informally. I don't mind. Let's do it. He smiled. He liked this girl. She was easy and pleasant to be with. Sophia also looked at her saviour with interest. After the transformation, it was easier to see him clearly. Good upbringing and education were evident, and his manners were appropriate. I wonder how his life would have turned out if they hadn't met. Would he have remained an outcast because of his brother? How awful! They arrived at the restaurant. The evening was wonderful. Maxime told stories from his past life, and Sophia told hers. They remembered their parents, childhood, years of study. They spoke the same language, and it was easy and fun. Suddenly, the phone rang. Sophia apologized and stepped away. She talked for about 10 minutes and then returned with a radiant smile. Everything okay? Maxime asked. Good news? Yes, very good news. My lawyers have prepared the documents, and we can finalize the divorce tomorrow. I don't want to drag it out. I don't want to be his wife, not even formally. Congratulations. Yes, thank you. But that's not all. I asked them to find out a few things about your brother. In short, I'll help you get your father's business back. And for now, you can work at my company if you want, of course. Maxime looked at Sophia, not believing his ears. How? Does this really happen? Who are you? An angel? Tears welled up in his eyes. It turns out you are my saviour, not me yours. You brought me back to life. I don't know how to thank you. Stop it. It will be my pleasure to help. So will you work for me? Of course I will. He paused and added, Now it all makes sense. Sophia looked at him in surprise. What makes sense? Maxime walked over and took her hand. You simply appeared in my dream. It's no coincidence that I was where I found you. I fell asleep and I had a strange dream. A girl walks in a beautiful blue dress, and behind her back are huge white wings, like an angel's. And then she suddenly falls, head first onto the tracks. And at that moment I heard a voice. Get up, you must save the angel. I jumped up and ran to that spot where I saw you, and you were also in a blue dress. I don't believe in mysticism, of course, but this is definitely not a coincidence. So, you are my angel. Thank you. So that's it. She paused and looked at Maxime mysteriously. Well, now we'll have to be together. An angel can't abandon the one they protect, can they? And they both laughed.